I'm Jennifer Barnett. I am the Director of Workforce Operations for Tri-Parish Works, covering the areas of St. Tammany, St. Bernard, and Plaquemines Parish. We are the public workforce system here to serve the community. I have about 20 years of experience in human resources. I'm a certified workforce development professional, fellow of industry sectors, and some people call me a data stylist. I love the numbers. This is my second Zoom of the day.
Oh, okay. Right on. Have you guys still been as busy as you were, towards the beginning of this whole pandemic thing?
Well, we switched our roles. We used to have, typically in a year, we might have about 12,000 visits to the centers of people looking for jobs, and then working with about 2,000 employers to help them connect and find people.
Yeah.
But with the unemployment issue, we jumped on that to help out the state since we had to close our doors.
Yeah.
We switched gears and we took in over 21,000 phone calls.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I know I was corresponding with Brian a bit, and he was just like, yeah, we're
Yeah, but no, we've been making the switch back to now that LWC has been able to get their call centers up and running and stuff, we're able to switch that over and go back to what we actually do, which is developing the workforce.
Yeah. So for starters, can you tell me a bit about Tri-Parish Works and what y'all do?
Sure. Tri-Parish Works, we are the public workforce entity for the region of St. Tammany, St. Bernard, and Plaquemines Parish, so that east side of the lake, east and north side of the lake.
Yeah.
And we help connect talent to opportunities. We really work towards trying to find the right match between job seekers and employers. And then sometimes there's some gaps in between or some barriers that keep that from happening. And so we help fill in those gaps and remove those barriers and those obstacles, and we push them out of the way.
Yeah, right on. What would its function be on the state and local level specifically?
Sure. So with Tri-Parish Works, we are local. We're overseen by a local board, primarily businesses, but we are a partner. We're federally funded, and so we are a partner of the state, of the Louisiana Workforce Commission, Louisiana Rehabilitation Services, K through 12, economic development. So we're kind of that hub for workforce development.
Wow, that's quite a bit bigger than I had initially envisioned.
Yeah, we invest about $1.2 million a year in training, and a good chunk of that goes to businesses directly for work-based training or employer-based training, and then you'd be amazed at how many people we pay for them to go to school.
So I know you kind of mentioned it, but what is the role in the partnership with the Louisiana Workforce Commission?
So we work hand in glove. They help with those direct employment services. So when someone has lost their job, they operate the online system. They also provide the labor market information, and they are the pass-through for the federal dollars. So they're one of our primary partners. They oversee some other programs that are our partners, so they are our largest partner. And so they operate within our centers as well.
So is it all in the same building?
Yeah, so we have 3 different centers. We have one in Slidell, and we have one in Plaquemine, and we also have one in Chalmette on Nunez's campus.
Okay, right on. Well, I guess that kind of leads us to where we are today with the effects of the COVID-19 to Louisiana in general, and then within the Tri-Parish region. How does unemployment look in the St. Bernard Parish area when compared to the other areas?
It's looking kind of rough. We ran some numbers, and we are for St. Bernard Parish, we have 7,930 people who have filed claims. 7,900, so just under 8,000 in the last 8 weeks. that represents 39% of the workforce in St. Bernard Parish. So that's pretty significant. Now, not all of those individuals will stay on unemployment. Some people apply for unemployment and then are not eligible. But the initial claims, the ones who are saying, hey, I'm not working or I've been impacted, is 39% of the current workforce in St. Bernard Parish. In comparison to, say, New Orleans, 44%. They have over 80,000 people who have filed claims. In Jefferson, they're just under 80,000, and that represents about 36% of their workforce. So it's pretty significant. Across the board, there's 632,000 claims filed in 2 months in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah. Do you foresee this bouncing back relatively quickly, or do you see this more as a gradual return to the base?
Right. It's going to take quite a long time to get back to where we were in February. We will have a large chunk that will go back after August 1st. Let's be real. We've got individuals, that are not working right now, that are making more or taking in more money than they were before COVID happened. So if they're receiving both the state unemployment and the federal unemployment, that's $847 a week. If they get the maximum, that's the equivalent of $50,000 a year. So if you had someone who was only making, $10 an hour, they're now making double. So there's not a lot of motivation to go back to work right now. However, the challenge that presents is that some businesses are going to go under and they're not going to make it. So those job seekers who are sitting at home are really kind of hedging their bets that their jobs will still be there and they may not be. So employers and job seekers really need to, employees need to work together and have honest conversations about why it is that if they want them to come back, if the person doesn't want to go back, why? And try to really get creative and innovative. If you want to keep your best and your brightest workers, you really are going to need to be creative in enticing those individuals. There are companies that are paying hazard pay, bonuses, return, and things like that. So we've seen both sides of employers really mad that their employees won't come back. And I'm like, well, if you strong arm them, that's not going to help. However, if they're your best and your brightest, and they're the ones who are the backbone of your business, then do what you need to do to entice them and encourage them to come back now. However, the bright side for an employer is come August 1st, when there are fewer jobs and more job seekers, they're going to have the pick of the cream of the crop. So they're going to be able to backfill any vacancies they needed to fill. But there are going to be employers that aren't going to make it. And that's the really sad part about this. It is going to be hard. Unemployment we're not going to see 4% unemployment again for a while.
Yeah. It's kind of it's an interesting, like a cost benefit analysis, kind of a waltz between.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes people have valid reasons. Sometimes it's a childcare issue or a medical issue, or maybe they're just scared. They don't know, and so employers can tell them and be, honest with them. Hey, this is what we're doing to keep you safe. And sometimes that reassurance will make a difference, or just knowing that they care. But some people also need to realize that if they want to play hardball and they don't want to go back to work, and their employer offers their job back, they could have their benefits canceled, and it may take a couple of weeks before that happens. And there could be an overpayment status. That happened a lot after Katrina, and a lot of people were overpaid, and the state and the feds will go back and get that money. Might take them a while, but they'll get it.
Wow. That didn't even occur to me. Yeah. So then what do you see as some of the challenges that businesses who are trying to open now are seeing or having?
Well, there are definitely still some challenges with businesses making sure that they're following all the rules and what rules do they need to follow. And so the state's really trying to work hard at making sure they're putting out the right information. The St. Bernard Parish has been excellent in trying to make sure that they're educating and informing and giving a lot of resources and information to all of their employers and businesses in the area. So that's fantastic. But that's been one challenge. How do they adapt? How do they adjust? If they can only have 25% capacity, how can they make that work? How do I turn my restaurant into an outdoor venue so that I can maximize that capacity? What adjustments do I make to my ordering? All those different logistical components. That's just a major adjustment for businesses. But many of them will get through it. Some of them sadly won't. And they may come back later, but it's going to be really hard. But when it comes to finding workers, if they need just temporary workers, I know we'll take on job listings and post them and blast them out on our social media, send them out to all of our partners throughout the state for temporary positions. If they're looking to fill permanent positions, long-term, full-time employment, we'll help them recruit. We will be doing some more customized recruiting events as soon as we're allowed to,
Right.
But we'll do smaller ones. So I'm hoping through phase 2 that we might be able to start doing some small 2 or 3 employers, small recruiting events where we can control the crowds better. Because we do have people looking. And that's one thing that employers can know. With over 630,000 people filing for unemployment, all of those people are in the system that the state runs that we have access to.
Mm-hmm.
So we have first access to the best workforce in the state. So we can reach out to them and target them and do some custom recruiting events online and help them out with that piece of it.
No, that's great. So from like the point of view of workforce development, I know you at TPW are working like kind of in overdrive to aid the transition. What sort of help do you have available specifically for the job seekers who are trying to get back into the workforce?
Sure. Actually, I mentioned that we have the funding for training. So in addition to trying to connect job seekers to jobs, we can also help upskill them. So if you want to be more competitive, and you're going to need to be more competitive when it comes to once August 1st comes around, it is going to be dog eat dog in terms of trying to find a job. It really will be, because those $600 benefits coming from the feds will end at the end of July. And $247, which is what the state maximum benefit is not going to be enough to sustain a family. So people are really going to be out there hustling to get work. So they can sharpen the saw. They can really gain a competitive edge by making sure their resume is up to speed. We can assist with that. They can get some training under their belt. If they have been in an office environment or want to be in an office environment, but they don't know Excel or they don't know Microsoft Word, if they find a program, if it's under $500 and it's online or something like that, I can pay for that. We'll pay for that. We'll invest in that. I have $500,000. I'm ready to invest in upskilling our local workforce. We want to make sure we have a better workforce post-COVID than we did pre-COVID.
Right.
So that also means someone who needs to change their career pathway. Maybe they've been in the restaurant industry, their restaurant's closing, they're tired of being susceptible to hurricanes and disasters and things like that. So maybe they want to do something different. Well, maybe they thought about doing healthcare. Fantastic. We'll help you. We'll pay for that. Okay. We'll invest in the individuals. If someone has been impacted by COVID, their employment has been impacted, they're going to qualify.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we'll invest up to $9,000 for an individual who goes into a traditional training program. We'll invest in individuals who, like I said, just want to sharpen the saw. They want to go back into their industry, or they want to, go up the ladder or something like that. Maybe they found a really great sales program that they can do, and they think that's going to help them be better in sales. Let's go for it. Let's do it. And so we have a pre-screener online for individuals to let us know that they're interested. if they go to our website, www.triparishworks.net, and click on COVID, it'll take them right to a page that has Skill Up 2020. It's just a simple pre-screener, kind of lets us know a little bit about what you're interested in. If you already identified a school or a training program, let us know about that. And then, goes over some eligibility questions. Because like I said, we have money. We get $1.2 million. There's some rules attached to that. It's not just a giveaway.
Like a free,
so we have, here, there's the money, right? So it's just making sure that everyone meets those federal guidelines. But we really do try to make it as simple as possible. We have half of our staff working remotely, the other half working behind closed doors. We're not able to see people right now. Our offices, we're lean, mean machines. I may not be, but our offices are. So we make sure that we are helping them remotely. So we've set up, we can Zoom with you. We have electronic signatures. You can text us. You can, snap a photo. People who were working with us and needing to reset their passwords to file for unemployment. We said, okay, well, I need to get verified. You are who you are. You're not your evil twin. So text me a copy of your driver's license and social security card. They did. Boom. I was able to pop it in there. No problem. We're good to go. So we're going to be as flexible as we can be. We always stay within the law, make sure we're following all the regulations. I don't look good in stripes. So, I want to make sure that we follow the regulations, but we're going to try and make it as straightforward and easy as possible. We have work experience opportunities for youth. We have a great program for youth also that's age 16 to 24. So youth is a relative term.
Yeah.
Work readiness programming, professional development, all online. And if someone qualifies as a youth, then we can, we have incentives that we can, if they get through this training program online, which is really a great program. We've been getting excellent feedback from our youth. We can pay incentives up to, I think it's like $1,600 for completing the entire program. And it's all done online. They can do it on your phone. I mean, it's really awesome.
That's huge, especially with all the influx of the recent graduates, high school and college graduates. There's really, it sounds like there's no excuse to not, be ready to go by the time, fall comes back around.
Yeah, I mean, our focus is all about preparing someone to work, to be in the workforce, to help them get them on the right career pathway and that right trajectory. And, again, help remove those barriers and push those obstacles out of the way and help people figure out how to stay on that solid path to good self-sustaining careers in high demand, high wage occupations. I mean, that's what we're all about. If it's going to get us there, then we're going to find a way to get to yes. We're going to figure out what we need to do to get someone there. They have to want it and they have to want to work with us,
right?
Because we don't just give you some money and walk away.
Right.
We're going to stay with you for a whole year after you finish whatever training you go through to see how you're doing, help you, be there for you.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
We have a great team of workforce development professionals. They're all certified as workforce development professionals. I mean, we take our work very, very seriously. We were not considered an essential worker. Okay. But our team stayed.
Yeah.
Our team decided to stay. They worked 11 hours a day, 6 days a week, just to help our community. And I'm so proud of them. And so now they're switching over and ready to hit the ground running with getting everyone skilled up so that we have a better workforce on the other side of COVID.
That's huge. I know you kind of mentioned some of the local schools that you're in partnership with. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And
Sure.
Specifically, are there specific programs that, for example, Nunez or Delgado are offering that, people can get right into and start training up on?
Absolutely. Actually, I was just on a Zoom call with Nunez, and we were working out a program for some youth with a carpentry program for summer work program. But they also have, so Nunez is one of our primary education partners in St. Bernard, but we're also partnered with Delgado. They have a number of programs. They're all listed on what's called the eligible training provider list, and that's at the state's website. I mentioned our partnership with the state is one of the things is they run that big, massive online system called LA Works or Louisiana Works. It's a big monster. It doesn't look very pretty, but I'm telling you, it's got some power behind it. And if in there's a whole list of all the training programs that are approved through for Nunez, for Delgado. There's an online program called Joshua Training Institute. All that's approved. Doesn't have to be a local school if they have online classes. Let's see. I'm trying to think what is some. We just reinstated the CNA program, the Certified Nursing Assistant program, over at Nunez. I'm hoping it'll be on the list by this afternoon. So we're working really hard to make sure that they have all the programs. The PTEC program, the PTEC Fast Track program, we pay for that. LPN program, RN program. So those are the longer training programs. But medical assistant, medical coding, they're working on getting those programs up and running right now too. Completely online. Phlebotomy is another one they're working. So a lot of the healthcare occupations. Main thing is we won't do basket weaving. It's not high demand. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Don't ask. So we really focus on those occupations that are high demand.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like infrastructure.
IT, if you've heard of New Horizons is over in the Metairie area, they're approved. There's a company called MedCerts, they're approved. So they're completely online medical training. I'm trying to think who else in the area. Of course, over on St. Tammany, which is where my one of my offices are, is North Shore Technical Community College. PRCC, so Pearl River Community College, we got them on the list last year. So for us, it's all about let's remove the barriers. How do we get to yes?
Yeah, no, that's huge. There's really no reason why somebody shouldn't be ready to go running up and running by the time things start really opening up and people should have their jobs.
I love it. Whenever we talk to someone about what we do, because people don't know who we are, and that's okay. They figure it out. Opportunities like this let us get that word out there that this is federal dollars that are appropriated for this area for a specific reason to assist in developing the workforce. That's the purpose of it. But when I talk to someone like you, and I can see the little wheels spinning, you're thinking, what classes should I be taking right now? How can I that soft? What about my cousin? He could really benefit from this program. I can already see the look on your face, and I love that. That's what gets me going. So that's what makes me really excited about everything that we do.
Yeah, well, that's great. So now that job seekers are taken care of, what can y'all do for businesses? Like, what support do you have specifically for the businesses?
Absolutely. Great question. Because the businesses are the backbone. We don't just train because, hey, I want to go into basket weaving. We want to know that there's jobs on the other side of that. So that's why we have very close partnerships with employers there in Chalmette, Domino, of course, has been one of our longtime partners, and so many other employers in the area, Fridela's, that we've done things like OJT, on the job training. So when employers start looking for new people, maybe they're going to be able to grow. Maybe they decide to take on a hand sanitizing component to their business, and now they're going to grow. They're not just going to get back to where they were. They're going to shoot to the moon. So with that, we can do on-the-job training where we'll reimburse the employer a portion of the wages to offset the cost of them training you on the job. And what's excellent about it is of those people who complete on-the-job training, 92% of them are still on the job a year later.
After the fact. That's huge.
So that's actually really high for any sort of, if you ask any employer about turnover, that's really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
So we have on-the-job training. We have customized training. So that's where an employer says, hey, I need to bring in a new workforce, a new group, and I need them all trained on this new equipment that I just bought. And before they can start, or I need them all to have a certification before they start. For example, we did customized training with Oshner for medical assistants. And we did this hyper accelerated program where they became medical assistants, and they had an externship, and we covered half the cost of that training. So, and they all ended up with jobs at the end. So that's what we're looking for. So we have customized training, on the job training, but probably one of the biggest things that we assist businesses with right now is that recruiting component. So again, we talked about the LA Works websites, free for businesses to post jobs. Employers who are paying more of a living wage, $12 an hour. They have, 10 employees. Those are the employers that we're going to really help focus in on and helping them recruit. We can do online screening of their candidates. We can do some pre-work assessments if they need us to. We can help advise them on how to draw more candidates to their job listings. And just overall, we provide them guidance. So between training funds and this past year, I think we invested close to $1 million for employer-based training. That's where the employer provides the training.
That's huge. So how can, say if I were a business who was interested in, taking part in all of this, how would I go about doing so?
So there's, in St. Bernard specifically, we have our new business services rep. That's Brian Gibson, and I'll give you his direct contact, and he'd love to hear from you. I'm going to give you his email address just so that he doesn't get overwhelmed by the phone calls. But
I'll put it on the screen.
Yes, there you go. It's bgibson@triparishworks.net. So BGIBSON at triparishworks.net is one way to reach him directly. Or if someone's not sure, they don't catch that, they don't get that across the bottom, they can actually just go to triparishworks.net website, click on employers, and says, hey, you have an interest, you have a question, and we'll get you connected.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, thank you, Jennifer. Is there anything that you would like to share with the St. Bernard community or the greater New Orleans area in general?
Well, I will say that I'm glad to have this opportunity to make sure that people know that we are here for them through COVID and beyond. We are really here to help them elevate their lives, elevate the growth of their companies, elevate the community, help the economy thrive, so that the entire community thrives. We're all a part of this. I'm born and bred New Orleans, and this is our heart. I could be anywhere. I've been doing workforce for more than 15 years, and I have been in another state, but I came back. And this is where I want to be. And so we're really super committed and super excited. If they're outside of our little 3-parish area, right next door, you've got Job One, which covers Orleans Parish, and they offer similar services. And then in Jefferson, they also have the American Job Center for Jefferson Parish is also there too. So this is all over the state. This is nationwide. This is not some little pocket. This is real. This is real, and we're here to help. So we try to provide customer service that changes lives. Oh, let's see. I said I was from the New Orleans area. I also went to UNO for my master's, and Southeastern, alum there.
So you're local.
Oh yeah, I'm local. Oh yeah. I lived in Baton Rouge. I lived in Hammond. I lived in Metairie. I lived in Kenner. Most of my life, I was Kenner Brock.
Kenner.